Hi, this is Dan Dunn, the host of What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn. And on the latest episode of the show, I talk with the queen of burlesque herself, Dita Von Teese, who certainly does things her way.
I'm not trying to shock anybody. I'm trying to change people's minds about what it is to be a stripper. A lot of people don't understand, why I do what I do. And even there were moments in my career where it was like, okay, I've made it. And people around me saying, so you should just be an actress now. Or can you sing? Can you do something else? I'm like, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I set out to do. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I'm going to make my own thing here. And I believed in it enough that I thought that I could make a living doing it.
Also on the latest episode, I visit a legendary punk rock club in Philadelphia and tell you about 3 fantastic new whiskeys you gotta try. So check out the latest episode of What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn. And remember, according to chemistry, alcohol is a solution.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Vendors, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population WellRed. I'm saying WellRed. WellRednecks. WellRed podcast. Am I right?
Trae Crowder, Drew Morgan. What's up, dudes?
What's up,
Hey.
boys?
2/3 of the crew. And you're
Not in body weight.
Corey is not here.
Yeah, Corey Forrester. He still lives in his hometown in Georgia. I think he's got some family curse where he's not allowed to be away from his 2 Confederate battlefields away from his mama.
Is that what it is? Is that how they measure it in the South?
Yeah. He gets haunted by a ghost. If he,
It's the metric system in Canada. It's Confederate battlefields down in
It's
Georgia.
that or Shoney's, if you're being nice.
How many
man,
Shoney's away
I am
are you?
6 Shoney's away from you. I will not be there until 3.
I'm 6 Shoney's away.
I'm 6 Shoney's away, which means 10 minutes. Folks, it's the South. I love me a Shoney's, a good Shoney. Do you guys have Steak and Shake down there?
Oh, yeah.
That's a Missouri thing, but kind of trickled down
they're all over.
into the hinterlands. They were good, man. I love that.
Shoney's is falling off.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Have you been to the original one?
I love that at some point Shoney's for you was up at a
It
level.
was.
Yes.
I agree with him completely. I went to a Shoney's probably 6 or 7 years ago and was just appalled at what had happened to the franchise.
How dare they? Well,
It was bad.
I thought it was because, we sold a book and it was like, oh, I've moved on. But I talked to my uncles about it, and apparently Shoney's has just gone to hell.
And they have yet to sell their book, your uncles.
Yeah, they're still sitting on a couple of manuscripts that will be
HarperCollins might be interested. Penguin might be interested. We don't know.
We don't know. Well, dudes, I'm so happy you guys are here. Not only do I love your podcast, we'll get into it later because I want everyone on this who's listening to this show to go over and subscribe. Because
we love your
podcast
podcast so much. It's part of our little micro podcast network that we just
we'll get into
fans.
it, but we believe that the world is getting dumber. And you've been on the show before, but
Drew, welcome back to town, bro.
Welcome back to town, Trae. But I'm curious, Drew, to get your take on it as well as we are about to jump into the story. What do you guys think? Do you think that the world is getting dumber, or are we just discovering people who had already existed? Where are you at on this?
Did you tell him that you had a joke about that?
What's your joke?
I don't remember I know that I said at least the basis for what the joke was, which was that it's just that what you just said, we're more aware of the stupid people now because stupid people have more of a voice now. 100 years ago, they couldn't even read, and now they can tweet. So
exactly.
They're way more in your face.
Still can't read,
but you also have to think about how dumb people used to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They treated common colds by bleeding themselves.
Yeah, true that.
Blood, it's
Which
gross.
works.
You got to get
Which
that out of
works.
there.
It does not work, Dan.
It does not work.
Okay.
But I mean that.
And now they do it by eating roots or whatever that my own wife is into.
Oh, really? Root eating?
Well, we're doing the
Do you think that's
essential
dumb?
oils.
Oh,
the
okay.
essential oil thing.
I love it.
It's not that it's dumb. It's that it's not smart.
You automatically, though, put yourself in a different category when you are deferential to your wife. She's like, I'm
Sure.
going to do this. And there are a lot of people out there who aren't, who just like
or who wouldn't even try it.
Wouldn't even try it. I love that you guys are trying. Again, I think the essence of why you guys are so great is that you do try that stuff. You do go out there. You're open to it, which is great. Well, I hope you're open to making fun of some dumb people because that's what we do on this show. Daniel Van Kirk is here. Hi, Dan.
What's up, buddy?
We got stories. Our fans send us stories, and we just kind of go through it and see what we can find out. Who has sent us one, Dan?
This was sent in by Helmut von Schmidt at Helmut Radio.
It's one of my favorite fashion designers.
Yeah?
Helmut von Schmidt.
You can only get it at TJ Maxx.
That's right. And all the sleeves are irregular.
A Florida man who said he was having problems with his wife was caught on video Tuesday standing through the sunroof of his white Cadillac sedan as it sped down a local highway.
So he's
the only one in the car, right?
Yeah.
That's not ghost riding your whip.
No.
That is like
It's about to be a ghost riding your
about
whip.
to be a ghost riding
Thank you.
your whip. Thank you, Drew.
Do you want to live for eternity in those clothes as a ghost?
This is it.
The irregular sleeve.
Helmut von
He's
Schmidt.
wearing a Helmut von Schmidt long sleeve.
Leonard Olson of Lakeland, Florida, was arrested after the Tuesday afternoon incident.
So he'd been drinking all morning.
Tuesday afternoon means
Tuesday.
morning drink.
Let's backdate it.
Yeah.
This is according to ABC Action News. Abcan, if you're nasty.
Action news.
Exactly.
Action News really puts it into like, that is like bumping it up a notch. You know what I mean?
Well,
That's
this is the height of action. A guy standing
yeah.
through his roof like he's going to the prom.
How is he
except he's not a driver.
How tall is he?
Exactly. How is he
Yeah.
driving?
Well, it's a Cadillac. So
Cruise control on, Dan.
the newer Cadillacs, I think, have
Auto
like
drive.
self-driving. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's some like 90s Nick Cage shit.
How?
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Out the roof of a Cadillac,
Yep.
you're also driving. That's
How
pretty
old are
nuts.
you that you know about new Cadillacs?
I
That's-
just read. I just read my dreams.
But also,
I want to be 79 and have a Cadillac
Yeah,
someday.
Dan, I know you do.
Con air conditioning. That's what I would call this.
There you go.
they had, you said he was caught on camera and not caught just like when
Right.
he ran into an embankment and somebody
Yeah,
found
exactly.
him. Like,
So you dudes are driving down the road and you see a man standing, the only guy in the car standing out of his sunroof.
My first thought is, I can't believe this guy's having trouble in his marriage.
It seems like he's
Well,
pretty well together.
It would be a process in your brain, right? Of look, the guy's hanging out of the sunroof. Were they drunk? They're having he's the only guy in the car.
Oh, yeah.
He's not doing it to impress anyone else in the car.
But he's doing it in spite of his wife.
that'll show her.
Or to win her back, guys.
An off-duty Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputy, which means he was like, God damn it.
Yeah,
it's my
he's
day
off duty.
I know.
That's the way he's like, I don't want to take work home with me.
I'm at a Shoney's with like,
He observed Olson's bizarre and dangerous behavior while driving next to him on Interstate 4 near Lakeland before alerting the State Highway Patrol. The video shows Olson standing through his vehicle's sunroof with his arms spread wide, deliberately or inadvertently mimicking the iconic scene from Titanic. Not really, because the guy driving the Titanic was not also leaning on the bow.
Well, like the Titanic, this guy's going down.
he will be dead soon.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me of
Whole
that
life
scene.
heading towards an
Is
iceberg.
he doing? What are they
Like,
doing?
I think the arms are
out back.
back
Kate
a little
Winslet. Kate Winslet is up on the bow as wide
Okay.
as she can, in a very vulnerable
Oh, here we
state.
go.
And
This is
and
a picture of
Jack.
See, okay, there's the picture. I think
Is
he
he
was trying
turned
to
around?
do. He's
No,
trying to
no,
do
he's-
Jesus, and the Cadillac's too fast.
That's right.
I never thought the answer to what would Jesus do would be stand up in the Cadillac you're
Get a
driving.
CTV.
By the way, Cadillac Jesus may be one of the best names for a band ever. Why is there no
Cadillac
Cadillac
Jesus?
Jesus?
The off-duty said he clocked Olson traveling as fast as, how fast do you guys think? This guy was auto-driving his car while hanging out of the sunroof, arms
You're-
spread, Titanic style.
Now, you are a guest. You
Yeah.
can either go first and second, or you can go in between me and Jason, which is the Tig Notaro slots. You can go first, Tig, or last. Where do you want to go and guess?
I'm going to say 45.
Okay,
45
miles per hour,
Drew?
which is a good clip.
Yeah. When you're standing up
Mhm.
alone.
I mean,
So hard not to say 69.
I know.
yeah,
bro.
I know.
And
Do
I
it.
and I do think it was 70. I really think it
Okay,
was 70.
70. You got it.
Jay?
I think that the fact that they're announcing the speed means he has to be breaking the limit. So I'm going to say 80.
Okay, 80. Right.
I think he's going 55 miles an hour. Again, this is stupid, but like imagine being standing outside of, if you've ever been like leaning out the window of a car, even at 35, it's fast.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, you know,
What'd you say? 40?
45.
45, I said
to
55,
me, 45,
70, and 80.
The off-duty deputy said he clocked Olson traveling as fast as, join along, townies, yell it wherever you are, because the answer is 100 miles per hour.
He was trying to Superman, and his arms were pinned back.
Yeah.
Oh my
I believe I can fly. Can we sing that
I believe
anymore?
I can die.
So this guy, he didn't wreck or die, right? While doing that.
No, he did not.
I mean,
wreck or
dude,
die.
this guy's legit.
Is
He's
this
like
an-
he's an action movie
Is
star.
Cadillac Jesus.
Yeah,
He's
Cadillac Jesus.
This is John Wick.
He's definitely now the governor of Florida.
You automatically. They do a
It's
runoff
in the
next day.
Constitution.
It is in the
I think
Constitution.
he had like
written
doves in the
crayon.
back of his car that he like let fly out behind him. when
That
he
would be,
started it,
there's
you
a
know?
magician, or this is the best
Wife
Cadillac ad.
Yeah.
beater, and flowy white linen shirt.
No,
behind.
Can you
He's just wearing
imagine
a
being an
t-shirt.
off-duty cop or just being a civilian? If you are going down the interstate and you see this guy,
Going 100.
And you know in his brain he's saying to his wife, because now I'm thinking that he is trying to win her back.
What
Is-
song was playing?
There is the question.
Freeway of love.
Kickstart my heart.
Kickstart my heart.
radar love.
Radar.
Anything by Hoobastank.
It was definitely Kid Rock, but more interesting would be Dire Straits.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, money for nothing.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Or
it's
Souls
Florida.
of
Sons of Swing
So, yeah,
might be
there
a
you
good
go.
one.
Limp Biscuit, they're Florida, right?
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
a very,
Limp Bi-
it's a very Limp Biscuit thing to do.
I
give
believe
me
they were
some-
from Queens till like last year.
but it's Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, of course it is.
Give me something to break.
He was traveling
My
as fast
heart.
as 100 miles per hour around 2:30 p.m. before he suddenly slowed down to 40 miles per hour during the dangerous trip. So all of a sudden he must have slammed on the brakes.
How?
I don't
Again,
know.
how
Right,
long
how?
is
Yeah.
his foot that he
Olson was pulled over by highway patrolman on US 98. Sworn affidavits obtained by WTSP show he told investigators he was acting out because, quote, my wife treats me like a servant and she's the mistress and I'm tired of this shit.
She's the mistress?
I have no
There's-
idea.
There's the curveball I was waiting for.
The wife treats me like a servant. I mean, we've all
He's trying
felt
to
like-
die.
He's trying to die.
Olson told the highway patrolman he would rather go to jail than go back home.
Yeah, well, there you
Trying
go.
to die.
He
He
didn't
was
need to do this
mistress.
to go to
There
jail.
are other ways to
You
do
can get a
it.
divorce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
She's the
loiter in a
mistress?
park for too long.
What does that mean?
She's
I
the
think he was
mistress.
trying to say she's the master and I'm the servant, but as a woman,
Oh.
you're the maybe?
like
Either way.
mistress, like domination.
Like dominatrix.
Dominance.
Yeah.
So he's trying to reassert dominance. And I mean, I gotta say,
Over his car?
pretty strong play.
It is a pretty strong
to get up.
Yeah. Was she in the trunk?
No.
Did they check
No,
the trunk?
she was
That's the
not
other thing.
in
What's
the
he going to
trunk.
do? Go home and just tell
Tell
what
her
he
that
did?
he did it.
Yeah.
He
Oh.
knew somebody'd see him.
Right.
By the way, Was She in the Trunk is the single off of Cadillac Jesus' album. You guys are just coming up with it.
I just hope he's just trailed off at the
Wait.
end when he was like, I'm tired of this shit.
Maybe she told him to. Maybe that's like, you know what you have to do tomorrow to please the mistress.
Uh-huh. Get
Hey,
up.
man, if
Get
the
up to
mistress isn't
100.
pleased.
Drive 7 Shoney's away from here,
That's right.
hanging out of the roof of your car.
You want me to go 2 Civil War battlefields?
Wait, so here's the deal. He's trying to get up to 100.
Right.
My guess is, truthfully, he thinks his car's a time machine.
He's
If
going
he
to
hits
try
88, he can go back to
in
before
time.
he was
That's
with his
right.
wife and start over again.
Well, he
What
initially,
year is this guy trying to get to? You think?
He's trying to
This
get to
dude, he's
89.
80 something, right?
89, baby.
right
89.
when there were still lewds.
Yeah.
He initially
89 when he was 19 years old, a year after high school, and he was still voted most popular senior because he hung around a lot.
he initially denied performing the reckless stunt on the highway, saying, quote, he didn't know about that. Like, I saw you, man. I don't know anything about that.
I didn't know about that.
I don't need you to. I know all about it. And I'm the cop.
We have pictures and video.
But when troopers showed the man video of him sitting on the top of his sunroof while the car was barreling down the highway, they said Olson admitted the man in the video was him before noting that the car was in cruise control.
There you go,
It's
Jay.
fine.
I said it. That's
Yeah.
not
Quote,
self-driving.
I
Dan.
think
That's
his life
in
was
The
in
car
cruise.
drives itself and has a guy. This is a quote. The car drives itself and has a gigantic computer in it. I thought it'd be a nice way.
Don't you dumbasses know about computers? God
All
damn.
right, God
We
damn.
got
Hey, the-
computer cars now.
Now, here's the truth, man. The more gigantic it is, the more powerful it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What kind of computer you got in there? Gigantic one. A big ass
computer. Big ass IBM, bro.
He says the car drives itself and has a gigantic computer in it. I thought it would be a nice way to praise God for a minute, and I thought it would be nice at the time, and that's what I did.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Drew.
I think he needs help. Like,
Yes.
this dude is in trouble.
You just now keyed into that?
He needs
All the rest of it, Drew was just on board. He's like,
I'm
this
on
is
board,
rad.
but that last quote really.
I mean, if that's how he praises God, we need to have a talk.
Yes. Yes,
like
this sounded
Jesus.
like a man who had a bad day until right now.
Can we
Olsen-
blame God for like requiring so much praise that makes
No,
this
God
happen?
created
I get
self-driving
mad.
cars.
Dan, I say this all
God
the
did
time.
create big, gigantic computers in cars.
When athletes give all the glory to God, that's when I get upset.
Yeah,
I'm like,
why don't you
give God 10%.
If you give God 10 to 15% after a game, I'm good with that. And then give 80% to your parents who sublimated their dreams so that you could do what you want.
Well, that's like that's a rule of thumb, right? With
Right.
giving to God.
Yeah.
You know, you just
Give a
tithe
percentage.
10% of the glory
Thank you.
for victory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
then
like
checks out.
it's
Cut
like
it
your
up.
tip at a coffee shop. That's what you give God.
It's the weed that
10%.
you set aside for God.
Olsen is now charged with misdemeanor reckless driving. This isn't the first time he's been in trouble with the law, unfortunately.
I can't
I'm gonna
wait to hear
ask-
what else he
there
did.
isn't. I'm going to ask you guys this, then we'll get out of here on this first story. How old is Leonard Olsen? How old do you think a man with a Cadillac who's
Good
mad at
old
his
Lenny
wife,
Olsen.
praising God, going 100 miles per hour, Rose and Jack style?
And it's in Florida. Is it the part of Florida that's
I don't know.
Panhandle?
yeah.
I don't know.
You said Lakeland, but I don't know
Lakeland.
where
Yeah.
that
That's
is.
mid-Florida.
Right, yeah.
Mid Florida.
All right, gentlemen.
I love
you're our
how
guest.
quickly that came to you. That's Gator Alley, guys.
You're our guest. How old do you think Leonard Olsen
Go
is?
ahead, Drew.
53.
53.
That came straight. And that is, I know you didn't lay out your work, but that is a perfect
That's a good
guess
answer.
right
Yeah,
there.
that's a good answer.
49.
49 years old.
It's
Jace Rand?
right in our range.
I mean, he's going 100.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 42.
Okay. It's a Cadillac. that's
He's
putting you
been
guys on this.
around. He's been in this marriage long enough
Right.
that he has been pushed
42.
to this.
He's been in it for 20 years.
Right.
23.
Yeah.
23 years.
It's a long time.
I think he's 58.
58 years old?
Yep.
Okay. Leonard Olsen. As I said, we will
And by the way,
get out
I'm,
of this first
I'm
story on
guessing
this.
that his wife does not really tell him to do anything, but just says suggests in
Yeah.
certain ways, and he
I'm
takes,
guessing his wife
maybe.
does not realize he has this attitude about her.
I'm guessing he doesn't have a wife.
Thank you.
I'm the only one in his corner, apparently. I think she's a horrible, horrible wife.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
She is.
Leonard Olsen is 70 years old.
My inclination was right.
Shit.
I was gonna say this is where you should
Now I
have said
kind of
69.
you kind of
Drew.
respect it at that age.
69,
Yeah,
bro.
bro. Why
age,
the
yeah.
hell not?
He has lived a life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're gonna go out, you might as well go out doing something you love.
On top
On
of
time,
the car.
going out on top.
Of the car.
I'd
I
pay
mean-
$100 for some audio of that combo. Of that guy.
I mean,
Thousands for a video.
well, I can see if I have it.
Do we have
Yeah, I
video?
might
If we've
find it.
got
I'm not gonna
video,
pay
We'll post
you,
it up
though.
to the Dumb
We'll
People
post it
Town
up to the
page.
Dumb People Town Facebook page. If you are listening to the show, you're not a member of the Dumb People Town Facebook page. Join it. Stop listening right now. Join it, like it, and then you can see access to all this great stuff.
Yeah. I'll look for it while we take a break. That's
right.
story number one.
Story number one, down in the books. Take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about these guys' amazing podcast, Drew, Trey, and Corey, who's not here. Corey, wherever
May he
you
rest
are.
in peace.
May
Even though
rest
he's
in
not
peace.
dead,
Not
we
dead.
want
I
him to
just
get
want
a
him to get a
good
good night's
night's
sleep.
sleep.
We'll be back with more Dumb People Town right after this.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
Guys, support for Dumb People Town comes from Manscaped.
Who is number one in men's below the belt grooming?
I love it. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels.
Folks,
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Look, this is the summertime. They got a lawnmower 2.0.
You got to get in there and make things
It'll
clean.
it'll turn you into the Property Brothers.
That's right.
Like magic. Look at that. I love it.
What is that called? Curb appeal.
Curb appeal.
You got to get that curb appeal working. You don't want to see
And you don't want to use the same trimmer on your beard as you do on your balls? Come on.
Come on, man. You don't want to see an
Man.
English garden down there. You want it kempt.
Mm-hmm.
Kemp it up.
Manscaped, they know how to do it. They give you the tools. They give you what you need.
Anti-chafing ball deodorant. Thank you
Come
very
on.
much. And moisturizer. You're welcome.
There you go.
You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why aren't you putting deodorant down there, for Christ's sake? Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code DPT at manscaped.com. You need this stuff, guys.
Always use the right tools for the job. Your balls will thank you.
20% off and free shipping with the code DPT at manscaped.com. One more time, 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code DPT.
Do it.
All right, new season, Antonio Brown on the Raiders. He just floated into your DMs in a hot air balloon. He can't get his helmet right. What the heck's going on?
Le'Veon Bell with the Jets, Odell Beckham in Cleveland, Andrew Luck not.
Here's the one thing that hasn't changed. Where I'm putting money down on games.
Yep.
My bookie is the place to bet on football every weekend. My bookie has better bonuses and more prop bets. The prop bets are so much fun.
They are fun
than any other sportsbook. Period. This year they are hosting the first online handicapping super contest. First place is guaranteed to win at least $100,000. It only costs $100.
You can't play. It is almost impossible to find that level of return on a bet in Vegas.
All you got to do is pick 5 NFL games against the spread every week to climb the leaderboard and score your share of a huge cash prize pool. You can do this, guys. I would only recommend this service to our listeners if it's been a service that has been good to me, and that is why my bookie, always the right play. I've done this. It is so much fun.
You bet, you win, they pay. It's that simple.
My bookie has live in-game betting on every game. They've got the most rewarding.
The prop bets are the best.
The most rewarding player perks in the business, and for you fantasy guys out there and gals, you can even bet the over-under on how many fantasy points a player will score each game. How cool is that?
I love it.
So what they've done is they've figured out what.
So if you're pessimistic about your fantasy, put some money on the don't pass bar.
On the
bet
under.
that your guy's going to do bad.
So up to $1,000 first deposit bonus, double your first deposit. Use the promo code DUMBPeople to activate the offer. Visit MyBookie online today. That's MYBOOKIE. And don't forget to use the promo code DUMBPeople when creating your account to claim the bonus. You get a bonus. How about it? Bet, win, get paid.
MyBookie.com. Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. These guys are so fantastic. We love your podcast. We're fans of it. We were recently listening to an episode where you guys were talking about the air conditioning, the oppressiveness of air conditioning.
Yeah.
Or and
The oppressiveness or the potential the
debate about
sexist nature
whether
of like dudes turn up the air at the office because it's controlled by men and women. You know, it's kind of sexist towards women. And you guys had an extraordinarily nuanced discussion about it because you're like. Because the way it came about, and I want you guys to all listen to it, is that someone tweeted a great article that was written about it, just in an interesting way.
And then in her tweet, she was like, ban AC at the end of the tweet.
It was a different, it wasn't even the person who wrote the article.
Right,
It was
someone
some
else
other person
commenting
who
on it.
shared the article
article.
and said, ban AC, because it's,
Sexist,
it's sexist,
misogynistic, and you guys were like, we agree with the article. The article actually has some truth in it, but don't ban AC.
Yeah.
Like that's taking it too far in the other way, and I feel like that nuanced discussion for us. And maybe we have an anti-South bias. It's not fair, but like to hear you guys like discuss it in that way, it's amazing. It's fascinating. And of course, every issue can be put through your filter in like a very nuanced, which I love.
Well, thank y'all.
You're welcome.
Giving me the vapors over here.
I
It's
love
very
it.
sweet. But,
even the discussion of is it turn up the AC
or
turn down
yeah.
the AC? I'm like, what is it?
Dan, what is it? Turn up the AC.
Turn the AC up.
So you want to turn the number up or just crank up the AC?
Crank it up, turn the number
it
down.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great discussion.
We then right after that, our next tour run was at a place in the South. I don't want to name it because I otherwise love it, but they apparently don't have air conditioning or just got air conditioning.
Oh my God.
And it's mostly a live music venue, so I don't know if it's like supposed to be like kind of if it's like a punk rock sort of
Supposed
thing
to be
or
sweaty?
what. Yeah, right. But like for comedy though,
Not good.
Anyway, I'm even more firmly in the corner of that
Do
is
not
some
ban
dumb
AC.
shit to
Thank
suggest
you.
we ban air conditioning.
Thank you. Air conditioning is
Summertime in the South, no AC.
Yeah.
Rock
Yeah.
club. I don't think so.
Well, talk about your podcast a little bit and kind of what you want to do with it and so how people can subscribe to it and everything because we do love it so much.
So yeah, as mentioned, it's the WellRed podcast, and it's spelled R-E-D. And like you said, Well Redneck, that is the idea. That's where that came from. It's me, Drew, and Corey Forrester, who is in Georgia right now, where he belongs. And
Jesus, put him back where he belongs.
And Yeah, like you were saying, we mostly we talk about things that are going on. Sometimes we talk about just wild, random shit like portals and aliens and stuff. You know, you never really know what we're going to get into. But yeah, like you said, it's kind of all put through this filter that we all have of being very explicitly Southern and, you know, redneck in a lot of ways, but not having the stereotypical takes on things that you're used to hearing from people like us.
And when you ask what do you want to do with it, I mean, I think for a lot of what we do, you said it. You said, well, maybe I have a bias against the South. I think a lot of groups get judged by their assholes.
Yes.
But we
mentioned that in that
suffer from
episode.
that as much as anyone, maybe more so than most people, because we're a group that you're allowed to shit on. And, I mean, we all know why. You know what I mean? Let's look back, only a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
But
the assholes make it so.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right. The assholes exist, but we kind of want to be like, well, here's a counter example to that. You know, like if we have to own, and we do, you know, Nathan Bedford Forrest and all these awful people, then let's also talk about Outkast and Dale Earnhardt. You know what I mean? Those people rule. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do think what's interesting is that the medium is podcast. So it is an audio experience. So the initial thing that people often get judged on is how they sound when they speak.
Right.
So when you hear this accent, when you hear where you guys are from, and when you hear those things, immediately a judgment is placed. And through an audio medium, that for us is what's fascinating and interesting, is to hear progressive thought and to hear, you know, these nuanced discussions come from
whether you
an
agree
accent
or even disagree, because you guys don't always agree on things, and it's great.
No, we don't. And it's also like, so we've had some people tell us that it's even just like, not even the opinions we have or the takes or whatever, but sometimes just words we say. Like our friend Andrew told us he cracked up as hard as he ever had. Listen, we were having some argument about some word, and I was like, no, God damn it, it's a portmanteau, you know. And was totally serious in the moment, because it was a portmanteau.
It was a portmanteau.
And he was like, that was the funniest moment of
combination
that for me.
of
Literally
two
just,
words.
yeah, you said a smart thing in a dumb way. It's great, you know. Sort of our deal.
But you guys are incredibly smart and incredibly insightful. And again, I just want to hear everything that is being discussed in the world right now through your guys' filter. That's just the way we came away from listening to it. We're like, oh man, I want to hear you guys discuss immigration. I want to hear you guys discuss, everything that's going, climate change, all of it, because I'm like, what's beautiful about it is you grew up in the South. You grew up in your communities and whatnot, that maybe you didn't grow up in New York City. You didn't grow up in LA. You didn't grow up, and now you live in LA. But like, you grew up in those communities and take from it years and years of history and family stuff that still play out to you guys, and you still use in an interesting and positive way. You don't discard it. That's what's so cool about it to me.
Well, I don't even know what to say. That's awesome.
I think we get it.
I think the thought, what Randy's getting at, is that for people who, it's either one way or the other. Usually for people, they either dig into their Southern roots and dig into, well, this is who we are, and now you're attacking us, so fuck you, we're going to go in the other direction and be so retroactive. Or they say, I'm going to move to New York City and eliminate my accent and try to blend in with a different culture.
We get asked a lot, you know, how we came together as a group, the three of us, and what you just said is always part of our answer, because it's true. Specifically about comedians, like there's plenty of comedians from the South, but it felt to us like it was one or the other. It was either they drop the accent and you can't even tell they're from the South for the most part, which is fine, or it was full bore cable guy, blue collar style, only. It was those are the only two options, and we were in the middle. We were both, and neither at the same time, all three of us, and that's kind of how we got to be buddies.
What if Larry the Cable Guy had a progressive thought about immigration? You're like, that would blow everybody's mind. And like, for him, he would say it in a way, like I could see the Larry the Cable Guy bit where he gives a long, nuanced, let's say it's about immigration, about like, hey, listen, we got a problem at the border, but we got to do it by this, and we got to do it this way, and we got to put more people down there. A wall is not the answer, and this and that. And go through a whole like 3-minute like discussion of all the very nuanced argument, and then just wait a second, and everyone would laugh, and he'd be like, "Fuck it, build the wall." You know what I mean? Like that would be his ending, is like undercut that whole thing. Whereas I do think there is fascination within the nuanced discussion of it all. So thank you for that podcast, WellRed podcast, WellRed. Subscribe to it now, you guys. People who listen to this show, you will absolutely love it because I feel like it is very adjacent to what we do.
I agree completely. Yeah, and we're thrilled, by the way, to be part of this little
Scarborough
group
Country. I love it.
We're very excited.
I'm so happy you guys
Can
are
I
part of it.
admit that when I heard that we were joining something called Scarborough Country, I was like,
Country.
oh, they're just going to do like a whole country network, and we're... I guess that's cool. They asked us. I'm big
It's you
fans of those
and
guys.
Travis Tritt
And Trace Atkins.
I'd listen to that podcast.
Travis Tritt and Trace Atkins.
God.
Travis and Trace. It's like the leather and lace.
Conversations at Arlington.
Without a trace.
That was a deep cut for us. God, I fucking hate that song more than I've ever hated a
Deep
song
cut for me, too.
ever.
Saw him at what was that? Was like at the DuPage County Fair. That's a long
Come
story.
on, Dad. All right, you got another story for us?
I
Dan?
do.
Jump
Do you guys
into
want to
it.
take a look at this video really quick?
Yeah, let's do it. So
It's-
Dan found the video of the guy in the car. This is from the first story. We'll
Please
post it.
don't have us
Oh my God.
Cruising.
Man,
Dude, he is
My wife doesn't understand me.
She's
Well,
the mistress.
No, it's about God. He's up there yelling.
take me now,
And he
Lord."
walks with me and he talks.
I was afraid you had the video of him talking to the cop. And what was the over-under on his accent being
I
hours?
mean, that's the moment
Florida,
where you're
man.
just, please just don't have my
to be honest with you, even if that had been in like Michigan, I would have expected him to sound like us.
Yeah.
If they're talking to, you know,
Well,
that's
you
a
did
bummer,
it,
but I did.
and then
yeah.
he joined you.
Yeah.
In the middle of us breaking it down, you were like being him as a
Yeah.
character, and you're like, "Oh well, goddamn, I had to get
know.
up on the car."
I know.
you
And then I
joined-
started doing it.
Dude, I was like, I guess this is the voice we're going to do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Are you guys ready for a second story?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Sent in by Rasquatch at Rasquatch, RASQUATCH 53.
I've
Rasquatch
only
53.
seen a partial bit of his tweets. You never can see, like they come and they flash. Just kidding. Rasquatch.
I get it.
It also sounds like an
blurry
ailment.
tweets.
I saw like a foot. Oh yeah, I'm suffering from Rasquatch. Well, you know what? Put some Neosporin on it right
Put
now.
Put some Egyptian magic on it.
Shawano, Wisconsin. A Shawano man.
Shawana Man, one of my favorite movies about a girl trying to join a male's basketball.
About a girl trying
A
to
man
make
trying to play a
man
girl.
trying to
Yeah.
make cheese and as a woman.
A Shawano
They should
man
reboot that.
Shawana Man.
was arrested.
By the way, they could reboot that and make it all about like a trans,
You're right,
like
yeah.
really make it about trans issues.
Yeah, instead of that just being the whole joke of it,
Yeah.
was it? Yeah,
the
that would be
person's
that would
actually
be
transitioning.
what a world we live. I could actually see that happening in 2019.
Dude,
you know?
how
It
great
could-
would that
it
movie
could
be?
bring
The thing about
out
that,
and take it
there's
seriously.
no side of that issue that wouldn't be furious about
right.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like all these free speech, right wing, asshole, alt right people would be like, "This is bullshit. You see how easy it is?"
Yeah.
And then everyone else would be like, "This is very problematic."
They could have done another
Nothing
thing.
funny
maybe.
about her
Trans
journey.
community is like, yeah, we're really not taking the journey as seriously as they
It's
should be
weird
taking.
that it took till the third act for them to call him a her. That's right. Because that's how she identified from the
because
beginning.
she's a they.
She's a they.
A Shawano man was arrested after authorities said he went to the police department to claim a methamphetamine-filled backpack.
Guys, you got that meth backpack?
that's mine.
That's mine. I'll be grabbing that.
What can you describe? Can you describe the contents of the backpack? Well, there's a lot of meth in it.
I'm just to have been the friend of his that he said what he was going to do before he left the one-bedroom apartment that they
Hey
shared.
man, where are you going?
Wait a minute. It's a backpack full of meth. That's a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's true. That's true. Where are you going? I'm going to go get that backpack. How you see that playing out?
His friend was probably totally down with it. They're probably just like,
Yeah.
jails, they got lost and founds, right?
Go
dude,
get
totally.
it.
They totally got
and
lost
like,
and
go
found.
get it.
I don't
man.
think
That's where they
legally
put
can
it.
even go through it.
No.
That's a federal offense.
They have
go
to
through
give
a
it back to you, dude.
backpack.
If
That's
you
what
ask
it
for
was. Like
You
your
have
friend
rights.
Chad and the flat build hat.
Right.
Look, dude, I read the Constitution.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to. Just go
They
get
don't
it
even know
back.
what
He's
it is.
itching real
They
bad.
only know
Just
from the
you get the
outside.
backpack.
Get it? No.
A lot of itching.
A lot of
Investigators
chewing your
said
cheek.
Joel Mullen Romo. Now, Tony is from Wisconsin.
No.
No, he's
Joe
not.
Mullen.
Tony Romo?
No, not like, no, he's not. I don't believe you. Like, no, he's not.
he
Keep
is.
going.
He is from Wisconsin. So I wonder, like, is
this
Tony
part of the
Romo's
Tony
cousin?
Romo?
Is
my
this guy
God.
going to derail his golf career?
Yeah, he's killing
It's
it in the
unbelievable.
golf career right
That's
now.
and announcing.
Investigators said Joel Mullen Romo left the backpack at the Shawano County Library. A library employee.
Did not
I
see
know.
that coming.
Did it- see?
That would have been the very bottom of my list of places
is
that
very
he left
on
a
brand.
meth backpack.
Free internet.
There you go.
That or
Even
a lot
that.
of breastfeeding books.
That's right. Yeah, that's all right.
Even the internet, you got what you need. It's in the backpack.
That's
Right. A library employee found the backpack Monday and turned it over to police. Prosecutors said there were how many bags of meth do you guys think were inside? The small bags. Small bags.
Let me ask
of
you
meth.
something.
In a
If there
backpack.
was a bag of meth, would you know it was a bag of meth?
I would.
Yeah.
I would not.
Yes, I would.
Now,
Or this has to be something
that's
I don't know
because
what.
of what I used to do. I used to be a lawyer, not because of my accent. I don't know how he knows.
What kind of law do you
I was
do?
a public defender.
So
I've
you
just been to
you'd
a lot
be
of-
defending this guy.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of trailer parties, man. I don't know what to
Heard
tell you.
that.
I've seen.
I've
yeah.
seen trailers explode trying to make this shit.
Anybody want to take a guess how many small bags were in the book
This
bag?
isn't
I mean,
fair.
a
Drew is
lot.
has like an inside
Yeah,
track
but
on
small
this.
is
Come on,
such a,
man.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
backpack?
Sandwich baggies, I guess.
If they were
Backpack.
one hits, it's a lot.
It has to be a lot.
But I don't know why he would package it for one hit. So I'm gonna say
a lot of thought in this.
140.
Okay.
I was going to say 100, but now that you said that, 175.
Jay,
I'm going to say 50.
I'm gonna say 100.
100.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 bags of meth.
What?
inside.
Why?
This
Went
is
the other
where
way.
this is where it gets you. Along with inside the bag, there was also a martial arts weapon known as nunchucks.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
If you grew up with me,
Nunchucks.
They're not
Nunchucks.
nunchucks. They're
They
nunchucks.
are in my heart. It's real to me.
Nunchucks.
Meth and
Nunchucks.
nunchucks.
Meth and nunchucks. And you know he was like,
Cat-
maybe it was his friend's bag. He's like, what's in there? He's like, your nunchucks. And he's like, anything
Better
else?
go
No,
get it.
just-
Meth and,
Nah.
Meth and nunchucks is a great like rapping duo.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
but
Cadillac Jesus' opening
That's
act.
right. Meth and nunchucks open up for Cadillac.
so
Jesus.
he's for 3 bags of meth. He's going back in there. So how dumb are you?
Or
That,
one set of nunchucks.
true.
That's right.
Yeah.
How dumb are you that you leave that there, or is that the meth?
Most people, well,
Could be the nunchucks.
I mean,
That's right.
yeah,
Hit you in the
nunchuck to
head.
the head, and then you forget where you are.
Mullen Romo showed up at police department later in the day. I'll be down there in a bit. He-
Get it.
quote, most people don't show up and ask for it back if they know it has a contraband in there. But this guy decided he wanted to get his meth back. Police Chief Dan Mauel said, Mauel. I tried.
I feel like every police officer's name is just like a guttural sound. Like
Yeah.
Gib or Mao.
I think that guy was just like not worried about it. He's like, well, they've seen my nunchucks. I know better. They're not gonna,
They gonna mess with me.
They ain't gonna fuck with me.
As soon as I get that backpack in my hands, I'm walking out of here.
This is my favorite part.
Try and stop me.
According to court documents, he told police he had taken the drugs from his ex-girlfriend because he was investigating her drug dealing. So he's trying to
I'm working for he's you on a guys. case. Yeah.
Citizens
He's
arrest.
working an angle out here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you
I was,
understand?
as soon as I finish my investigation, I will be back to you.
So here's the deal. You guys want to deputize me now?
Why do you think I was at the library?
Right.
I would feel safer in Wisconsin knowing there was a cop out there with, you know, a backpack full of meth and nunchucks just keeping us all
He
safe.
shows up. I'm here for the evidence,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Sexual critical evidence in that
Excuse
bag.
me, where's
And,
the evidence room? Well, there was a backpack that.
I got a warrant for the evidence I'm claiming.
You are jeopardizing my case, Chief.
That's right. You want to
Against
compromise
this
it?
bitch.
You want to compromise it?
Isn't this a pop plot of a Martin Lawrence movie?
Yeah, probably.
Blue Streak. He has to break back into the evidence room, but it's diamonds.
Yeah.
It's not meth, or as we call them where I'm from, you know, trailer diamonds. But
Trailer diamonds.
Is that what meth is?
Yeah.
Mullen Romo said he had the nunchucks to
Trailer
protect
diamonds.
himself from his ex-girlfriend, which is also
Hey, man,
pro.
she gets the meth in her.
She's a perp.
Right.
You got to have something. Yeah.
And by the way, I don't hit her with it. I just start doing stuff.
That's the
and
great
then
thing.
she backs
Nunchucks
away.
are more about show.
Right.
They're the posturing of weapons.
No.
You let everybody know.
They're the club on the car of your life.
Nunchucks,
Because they see the club, they move
nunchucks
on.
as a deterrent, not a weapon.
it just distracts her.
He was charged with possession of meth. We'll get out of here on this. Police said he was on probation for another crime and could face additional charges. Why don't you guys understand?
No
I'm
way.
trying to help You.
I am undercover.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to give me a long leash if you want some arrests in this case. That's
how
what
it's
he's telling
done.
them.
That's how
Yeah,
it's
let
done.
me go. Let me be the maverick that I need to be.
You got to bend the rules a little bit if you're going to be undercover.
I'm working for you. So you want to self-deprecate?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You got to break some eggs to make an omelet. I always said that.
I wonder what his
And
first
use
charge was.
nunchucks to
Yeah,
break
what do you
those
think his
eggs.
first charge was as a former public defender or a current public defender?
I'm going to say also meth.
Well, I was going to try to make a joke, but that's definitely what it
Yeah,
was.
it's definitely meth. 100%.
Definitely meth.
Yeah, he tried to get it from a firefighter that time.
Ah, there you go. I left it there.
Story
Sorry.
number 2.
There you go. Story 2 down in the books. We got the WellRed dudes here. So happy with Drew and Trae. Corey, wherever you are, we're thinking
You're
of you.
here in spirit. Dan, can you tease what the last story is going to be?
Yeah, we have a guy was arrested for a car sticker.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I saw a deadhead sticker on a Cadillac.
I thought this was America.
Yeah, that's right.
Not anymore.
That's what it said on the sticker. That's why I was arrested. We'll be back with more Dumb People Town right after this.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
All right, guys, let me ask you this. Dumb People Town, the world's getting dumber. We always say this. Does it stress you out? It stresses me out. Do you have anxiety? Do you have chronic pain?
Do you have sleepless nights? I joined a pickup basketball league, and now I can barely walk.
All 4 of those things are happening to you right now.
That's giving me stress.
Well, look, if you're desperate for help, we have the answer for you right now. It's called Feels.
Feals.
A premium CBD delivered directly to your doorstep. Feels naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. I know I've tried it. Sometimes I get, one time you get in your head and you can't fall asleep.
Yes.
And then suddenly
it's
you look at
2
the
in the
clock.
morning, and
That's
you're
right.
like, I got to be up in 3 hours because these damn kids.
Feels can help you sort of manage that anxiety, get that sleep that you need so you can be a better person the next day. You just put a few drops of Feels under your tongue, feel the difference within minutes. New to CBD, Feels offers a free CBD hotline and text message support to help you guide you through that personal experience.
Here's the deal. Feels works naturally to help you feel better.
No high, no hangover, no addiction. I'm going to repeat that. No high, no hangover, no addiction. Join the Feels community and get Feels delivered to your door every month. You'll save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel at any time. Feels has me feeling my best
Me too.
every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feels.com/DPT. You get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/DPT to become a member and get 50% off automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/DPT. Guys, support for Dumb People Town comes from Manscaped,
Who is number 1 in men's below the belt grooming.
I love it. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels.
Folks,
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Look, this is the summertime. They got a lawnmower 2.0.
You got to get in there and make things clean.
It'll turn you into the Property Brothers.
That's right.
Like magic. Look at that. I love it.
What is that called? Curb appeal.
Curb appeal.
You got to get that curb appeal working. You don't want to see
And you don't want to use the same trimmer on your beard as you do on your balls? Come on.
Come on, man. You don't want to see an
Man.
English garden down there. You want it kempt. Kemp it up.
Manscaped, they know how to do it. They give you the tools. They give you what you need.
Anti-chafing ball deodorant. Thank you very much. And moisturizer. You're welcome.
There you go.
You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why aren't you putting deodorant down there, for Christ's sake? Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code DPT at manscaped.com. You need this stuff, guys.
Always use the right tools for the job. Your balls will thank you.
20% off and free shipping with the code DPT at manscaped.com. One more time, 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code DPT.
Do it. Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. Daniel, you want to mention any dates that you got coming up? That people
Yeah,
can come
I don't
see
know
you?
exactly when this is going to drop.
I don't know either. Just
But-
throw them out there.
Yeah.
Throw
anyway.
out September dates.
August.
Late August you got.
Yeah, okay. Then the 29th, I'll be running my hour of stand-up at the UCB Theater. And then in September, I think somewhere around the 20th. that
UCB
third
Theater
week.
here in Los
Yep,
Angeles.
UCB Franklin. Go to danielvankirk.com for that date. And then also I'll be at JFL in Toronto.
And then,
that
of
third
course,
week of September.
We've got the October 13th Bell House in New York. We're doing live Dumb People Town. If we can sell it out, we're working on the guest. We will let you guys know who that's.
As soon as the guest comes, I think we'll probably sell it out, and we'll
we
try
can
to get
add
a
a second show.
Are you
That'd be
guys
great.
anywhere? I'm at Go Bananas in Cincinnati leading up to that.
Okay,
Brooklyn
yeah,
show.
we're-
Are you guys somewhere that weekend?
We actually might add
We're
a
in
day-
Boston at Laugh Boston
great.
on Friday and Saturday.
Never performed in Boston. I can't believe
Really?
it. We've
Yeah,
never done like a
crazy.
series of shows
So
there.
we're going to be there Friday and Saturday, and then possibly on Thursday in DC. We're working on that
Nice.
as well. So
at
it
the
might
Comedy
be
Loft.
Yeah,
We'll figure that out. Dudes, where can people catch you guys?
Well, you go to wellredcomedy.com for all of these, but our next shows. So when you say this will be like within the next couple of weeks, or are we talking like?
It might be a month, but we'll see.
Okay, so maybe Little Rock, and then after that, all the big cities in Texas,
Chicago.
Chicago.
We're going to Wisconsin,
Madison.
Nice.
A bunch of places in Michigan, or 3 places in Michigan: Traverse City, Detroit, and Grand Rapids.
That's a bunch of places.
When you do your show, do you guys all do stand up and then do a podcast, or how do you do it?
We all do. Right now, we just all do stand up, and it's like MC feature headliner format, except
each of you guys do like 25 or 30 or whatever.
Yeah. And
awesome.
we used to do a Q&A thing at the end, but we had to stop doing that because we were getting too many like very depressing questions about like my grandma can't afford her health care and that type of stuff. You know? Like, that sort of thing. Because
it's
we have a
great
bunch
way
of
to end a
very
comedy
liberal.
show.
I know. Sometimes it was great, but that's the thing. And like they're being very sincere, and you don't want to be like a dick about it. But also, it's like,
where's the joke?
right? You're trying to
find
close
the
a comedy
That's
show,
right, exactly.
And so we just had to quit doing
Your
that.
grandma's fucked. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
My favorite one of those, this woman was telling a story in the middle of it. She was like, yeah, and my cousin and his dad, they raced each other, and they both died racing each other in cars, and it was super awkward. And then Corey goes, well, who won?
Hold on.
She goes, all of us.
We all did.
That's it. That's a great way to
It was
end it.
great. Yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
That is an applause break. You win. Thank you. We win.
Walk
and it
off.
all happened.
Hilarious.
So go to wellredcomedy.com and check that out. And you guys have books. So pick
We have a
up
book,
that stuff.
podcast, all that.
Definitely sign up right now. I want you guys to
Subscribe
Pause
to
this podcast. Go over and subscribe to the WellRed podcast. It is so good. Again, it is something that is. It's another voice that maybe you haven't heard that you should be listening to.
Totally.
One last thing that I will plug: we've done a couple of sketches for Comedy Central Digital, and we're working on another round of those that'll be out later this year sometime. So check those out too.
In the same area of what you guys talk about. Great.
Love it.
I love it.
Brilliant.
These are voices that need to be heard as another way to represent kind of what's going on in the South, really. I think these voices need to be heard. How many Southern people do you have who are like, thank God you guys do this, because I'm sick and tired of people thinking of me like this when actually I align with you guys?
Almost all of them who come to the shows,
Right.
you know what I mean? Which like there's a ton. Like even when we're in other cities, like we have a lot of Southern transplants who have moved there, so we have a lot of Southern people at our shows, and they all the time say some version of that.
Thank you
which
for
is
at
great.
least doing this.
You think about like people who run for president who have a good shot are usually people who are progressive from the South.
Right.
Because they
Split it up.
speak in a way that the people in the South are like,
Folksy.
I trust him. He's
Right.
folksy, Bill Clinton. And then at the same time, they have policies
So
that
we
appeal to
just
other
we
people.
just did a podcast with, I don't know where in the process of how it is going to shake out, but I'm assuming his might be before this one drops, with John Lovett of Pod Saves America.
Yeah.
And
Pod Save
America. And we were talking about it because someone gave a quote like the police gave a quote of, she is arrested on Friday. And we're like, what tense are you using? It's like when people say, when they're talking about the past, I says, you don't come in here doing this. And we're like, that there should be a new sort of tense. There's past tense, there's present tense, there's future tense, there's pluperfect and all that stuff. Folksy past.
Right.
tense.
Yeah.
Like a folksy, a folk tense, which is like I says.
So I says,
and that would just cover it, right? Folksy past.
There's a new, internet phrase, whatever. It do be like that sometimes.
It do be like that.
It do be like that.
It do be. That could be fall into the folk.
tense.
Yeah, that's folk rubric.
Folk tense.
All right, Dan, let's get into this
You
last
ready?
one.
This
Yep.
was sent in by Dan, hazmat suit, but coordinated separates, Reeser, at SOWKRD.
What?
I love
Hazmat
it.
suit, but coordinated separates,
Okay.
Reeser.
Love it.
At SOWKRDAN. All right, here we go. This is the story of a man.
Named Jed.
A man fighting for his right to tell the world that he eats ass.
You got to fight for that right.
Not a euphemism. He
Gotta
literally
fight.
wants everyone to know on the back of his truck, he's got a sticker that says, I eat ass.
Yeah.
Any of our fans listening right now, it looks like it's a 98 Ford, the square body one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right before Ford
What's
took over the
What's
truck
the
world.
payload on that?
A whole lot of ass load, buddy.
What's the ass load on that?
$15 if you know the right person.
No bedliner either on that truck.
No.
It's not the way he likes
Raw.
it.
By design, Dan.
He likes
by
it
design.
raw.
Yeah.
Baby, he likes it raw.
He likes some roughed up knees.
Florida man arrested this week for refusing to remove a sticker on his pickup truck proclaiming that he eats ass will not be prosecuted, officials said Thursday. Now the man is threatening to sue the sheriff's office for violating his First Amendment rights. This is some my little home, small town of Rochelle is known for this as well, where somebody
Eating ass.
no, they get okay,
Ass eating capital of the Midwest, baby. Rochelle.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, where you'll be like, okay, we're done with it. You can go. And then they're like, nope, I'm not going. Here's something else. You're like, no, we're telling you.
We're done.
It's
You're
done.
free.
You're
Yeah.
free. And they're like, no, I'm double down on my
Before
ass.
I leave, I just want to kick this hornet's nest a few times.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yep. So many times, you've just looked at your friends and said, if you'd have walked away right then, this
You'd be
whole
fine.
other thing
We'd
would
be
have been
fine.
This night's over.
So many times my friends have looked at me and said if I'd have walked away, right?
Yeah. Dylan
That should be on the back of his truck.
Shane Webb
Yeah.
was stopped Sunday on a highway in Lake City, west of Jacksonville, by Columbia County Sheriff's deputy who saw a sticker on his rear window. That's the only place you would put it. That read, "I eat ass."
Yeah, Dan, it can't be on the front.
That's my point.
That's right.
Dash cam footage shows the deputy telling Webb that the reason he was pulled over was, quote, the derogatory sticker on the back of his truck. Webb then asked, how is that derogatory?
He's right.
I celebrate the ass.
In classic cop fashion, question with a question, the deputy responds, how is it not derogatory?
I just got caught in a loop,
Yep,
just back
yep.
and forth.
It's just like a redneck Socratic method off.
The cop goes on to say, quote, some 10-year-old little kid sitting in the passenger seat of his mama's vehicle looks over and sees I eat ass and asks his mom what it means. How's she going to explain that? To which Webb said, that's the parent's job, not my job.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this, my son is 10. He would not ask me. He would look at it and start cracking up. 10 years old. Yes.
Yes, that's at 10
He
years
thinks
old. You're
it's
in the
funny-
sweet spot.
You're in the, that's a
I eat-
dumb
How did he
class.
not come back to the cop and be like, did the S fall off the front of that?
I hope you would
I
be
eat
like,
sass.
officer, first off, have you ever eaten ass?
Yeah.
How do you not know I'm not promoting a beautiful thing here? For
That's
people to
right.
That's a great
experience?
way to say it.
He's a
Are you anti-eating it?
Webb issued a summons for what the sheriff's deputy said was a misdemeanor violation of Florida's obscene materials law. Dashcam footage shows the deputy telling Webb that if one of his 4 children asked him about the sticker, he would be furious. Well, I don't know why you have to brag you have 4 kids.
Yeah. I guess you ate a lot of ass to get those kids.
When the deputy told Webb to remove one of the letters from the word ass to read as, Webb refused, citing his constitutional right to free speech.
He should
Also,
have done
who eats
that.
ass?
He should have done that and then went straight to a shop or something and just put I eat as much ass as I possibly can all day, every day. Fuck the whatever county PD.
You would think
Just made
I'm
a
from
whole thing in
Rochelle, the
back.
amount of ass that I eat.
As much ass as
The
I
deputy subsequently arrested Webb and charged him with the additional offense of resisting an officer without violence.
Can I tell you, it feels good to that this happened to a white person. There's just a moment where I don't necessarily want him to get it, but at least there's a little equal mistreatment of a human being from in this case.
You're
No,
just talking about ass eating.
that's
Well,
all he
I
wants.
know what you're saying, but it's at the same time, in my former line of work, the whole nonviolent resisting arrest edition, it's just like, come on, guys.
Right.
You throw it on every single
Everything.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
News
It's like
of Webb's
holding in
arrest.
the NFL. You could call it on every play.
News of Webb's arrest and his sticker made news around the country. In a notice filed Thursday, prosecutors announced that they were dropping charges against him.
Good.
Having evaluated the evidence through the prism of the Supreme Court precedent, is it determined that the defendant has a valid defense to be raised under the First
Clarence
Amendment of
Thomas is
our United
like-
States Constitution.
Clarence Thomas is like, that's all right.
We all eat ass.
We do be, what is it? We do be.
It do be like
It
that.
do be like
It
that
do be
sometimes.
I mean,
The judge rendered his decision.
what's this guy?
Kavanaugh's like, what is ass?
Yeah.
Nowhere in my calendar have I mentioned ass ever. I
I'm
have
looking
no-
at my day planner
I
from
would have written
1987.
I ate ass on that day.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, young man, see me in my chambers.
In the
Get it,
case
Ruth,
of
get it.
Webb versus ass eating.
It do be like that.
The first Supreme Court case that dealt with something like this, I think, is the guy who had the "fuck the draft" on his jacket in court.
Really?
He got arrested for dodging the draft, and he came to court in a jacket that said "fuck the draft," and they arrested him again, and he beat both charges.
Hell yeah.
Just like they beat him on the way into the prison.
Yeah. In life, he was a loser.
Yeah,
but in court,
he did set a nice precedent.
They said the assistant
For
state's
ass
attorney
eating.
John Foster wrote, "Given such, a jury would not convict under these facts." Webb's lawyer Andrew Bonderud noted
One
that
of my favorite musical festivals in the country.
The Bonnaroo Festival.
Bonnaroo Festival.
noted that the dash cam footage highlighted that at several points, one of the deputy's colleagues can be heard telling him via the radio, "Tow his shit." So there's some other cop that you can just keep hearing on the other.
Quit
"Tow his
discussing it.
Toe his shit.
Bonderud said,
that's just another phrase for eating ass, though.
That's Bonderud said Webb's sticker didn't satisfy the rigorous standard to be found to be obscene, which he said typically refers to something that is erotic in nature. How is eating ass not erotic?
I mean,
I
it's
think,
a job
like,
for many people.
The picture of it, though, is what would be obscene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if there
I
was
get
like
you.
a woman on all fours and a guy just getting
You've
it.
got a greased
Tell me
naked
more,
woman
Randy,
on all
about how
fours.
I don't know. It's like I would do I don't know.
with a door collar.
with a mud flap.
The lawyer insisted, quote, "The I eat ass sticker could be a euphemism for a number of things. Can anyone in this room think of any other thing that I eat ass could be a euphemism for other than eating ass?"
Being a
I don't
Detroit
know.
Lions fan.
Being a tremendous suck up to your boss. I don't
That
know.
I suppose. Okay. Bonderud acknowledged that his free speech
He's
case.
that guy sitting over there in court, just like, no, it means I eat ass.
Do
It's
not
not a
sugarcoat
euphemism. I eat ass.
I mean, I
Spread the
will eat
cheeks
it with
apart.
sugar.
I say what I mean and I means what I say.
Yeah. Bonderud acknowledged that this free speech
Now all I
case
can hear is Bonnaroo.
I know.
Bonnaroo.
Was unique compared with
Don't
the
eat
others
ass
he
at
has worked
Bonnaroo.
on.
No.
Do not. It's too
Man,
hot.
day one.
Guys,
Day
don't,
one. It's a
don't
day one
eat the.
move.
Like
Honestly, and
you guys
they-
been to Bonnaroo? You
Yes,
guys been to Bonnaroo?
I did Bonnaroo this year, and honestly,
Stand up. How was it?
it was great.
Yeah.
You eat ass on day one, and when I realized you also eat ass on day 4.
That's right.
Because on day 3, you just turn into an animal. Everyone
That's
starts
right.
to smell good, even
That's
though they
right.
still stink. You're
That's
like,
right.
oh, this is all sexy.
You reset.
the power
It's like
of honor.
Woodstock.
Pheromones.
Someone comes on stage, guys, do not eat the brown ass. It is not good. It is not good.
Bonderud acknowledged the free speech case was unique compared with others he has worked on, but said Webb was heroic for fighting for his rights. I mean, who doesn't want a heroic ass eater?
I agree. This guy is a hero.
I got to be honest. You guys have only given us heroes today.
Right? This is like the hero version of this.
If this
show.
was one party, no one would believe you.
No.
You know,
Guy
speaking of
standing up
heroes,
in his roof. Guy who's got an ass eating thing. Oh my
Nunchucks and meth.
Nunchucks and meth in a backpack.
Well, the thing is, too, is in that first story, if you find out the cops have video, you are begging them to give you that video.
Oh yeah.
Like you caught that?
Right, yeah.
I kind of need that
Well, we
for my
let him,
website.
we let him go 10 miles. You know what I mean, we wanted the
Right.
video.
Quote, "I think it was brave of him to refuse to take down what he thought was protected speech." We'll end it here. Bonnerud said, "I think it showed courage on his part." I mean,
American
let's-
hero.
Let's not
Get
go
after it,
that far.
Dylan.
Like that, as a lawyer, you know, like that is like we're going a little. We've stepped over the line here.
Dylan
Just like he's got a
Shane
right to do it, and I don't think it shows courage. I think he's got a right to put it up there. It's maybe crass, like you shouldn't do it. He's like on the very fringe edge of what free speech is. It's a little
Right, but everybody's. I mean, we let Calvin pee on anything he wants.
that to me
And we
should
don't
be taken off. That's worse than I eat ass.
Yeah,
I
Calvin
like ass.
peeing on a Ford emblem.
Yeah,
Because like it's not really Calvin. That's why you're upset.
it's not really Calvin.
It's a kid peeing.
I just
But play it out. Like, what is the moment? Your kid looks at that, reads it, can read, and know. So the window of a kid being able to read and
not
understand, and then
it's a
understand
couple
what
of
it
years,
means.
7, 8,
It's
9.
probably like a
That's how
2-3
old mine are right now.
3 year window. Okay, so
Mine would also laugh because they would not interpret it sexually.
Right.
They would interpret it as
He's
just
a
like
butt eater.
He's a butt, exactly. Oh, he eats butts.
he
It's
puts
funny.
a fork on a butt, and
But you
eats
could
it.
also lie to your kid in that instance if they were too young to understand and say ass is another word for donkey. So this guy likes to eat donkey hamburgers.
Yeah,
I think
there
that'd
you
freak
go.
him out more than.
Yeah.
And would they ask you again? No, not until they understood what it was.
There it
there
is.
But
you
yeah,
go.
those guys like that, they always pull that shit. Like, what about the kids?
Yes.
Shit, and it drives me crazy.
I hate that one.
You know, as someone who has kids, I'm like, fuck it, you don't need to worry about it.
We'll
you don't
take
worry
care
about right, exactly. Don't
We'll
worry
take care of
about
it. And
what
by the
my
way-
sons will think.
And by the
Like,
way, it's a lesson about the world that we can't control everything.
Right.
Yeah, what if you are saying exactly what it means? What if you're like, yeah, that's a little, I don't know if I'd put that on the back of my car. Does that seem appropriate to you guys? No.
By the way, I went to a Clippers game with my daughter maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We're walking downtown LA, and not where we parked our car was a couple blocks away from the Staples Center, not that great of an area. And we come to like a street corner where like the crowd kind of sort of went away, and it was me and my daughter, and this guy is like screaming and yelling at this woman. It's like screaming and yelling at her across the way. And I was like, what is this relationship? It definitely feels a little pimp and, prostitute-ish. What's happening right there. And I've got my, like, at the time, 10-year-old daughter at the time with me. And so I got to see that. What am I supposed to say? Don't do that because I now have to explain what that is? No, you turn to your kid and you be like, that's not good. What's happening right there? Like, I hope nobody ever treats you that way. And that sucks. And you now have to explain that moment. This is a teachable moment.
right.
Yep.
Teachable moment about ass eating.
About ass eating.
That's what today's episode
There
is
we
about.
go, dudes.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
the show. The name is the WellRed Podcast. I want everyone, if you haven't already, you've come to the end of this episode now.
We've given you multiple chances.
but you may go right now and subscribe to their podcast because I guarantee
It'll
you
be
will,
like eating ass.
exactly.
We'll
It's
teach
just-
you the nuanced ways to eat ass.
It's
There you
eating
go.
ass for your ears, and these
It
guys
is.
are fantastic at doing it. And then pick up their book and go see
We're
them
going to
live.
quote you on that. We're going to put that
It's
on
eating
the-
ass for your ears.
we will tow your shit.
Toe is shit.
Drew Morgan, Trae Crowder, and Corey, wherever you are, we love you, buddy.
Oh, and definitely follow these guys on Twitter. You are?
Nunchucks and meth. No, Drew Moore Comedy.
Drew
And
Moore
not just
Comedy.
Trey Crowder, Trae Crowder.
Great.
Trae
Nice.
Crowder.
And what's Corey's handle, just so we know?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Corey R. Forrester.
Something like that.
Corey R. Forrester. Look him up, Corey Forrester. Follow him too. And do you guys have a Twitter handle for the whole podcast and whatnot?
We do.
No.
Nah.
We obviously
Tour.
should.
WellRed
Tour.
Tour. Okay, well, follow these guys, and because they again are great follows and just insightful dudes who I know you will all love. And oh shit, we gotta get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down. It's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.